Good day, everyone. Today we take a look at everything you need to know about New Year's Eve. Practical tips, Christmas tree, presents, grandfather's frost, or in the Western world called Santa Claus, and so on, which I have had heard for you within an interview with Nadezhda Solneknaya. Interview with the channel or Stop Lying. I remind myself that as I listen to Nadezhda's interview, she emphasized that the information regarding the new year and its deeper significance needs to be considered carefully. She suggested that by reflecting on her explanations, people would be able to decide whether they accept or reject what they hear. I imagine standing right at the threshold of the new year, where everyone wants to understand what will truly happen during these festive days, what they may face, and how to determine their level of participation. She stressed the importance of thinking it all through, not just going through the motions without understanding the underlying factors. I remind myself that as I listen to Nadezhda's interview, she emphasized that the information regarding the new year and its deeper significance needs to be considered carefully. She suggested that by reflecting on her explanations, people would be able to decide whether they accept or reject what they hear. I imagine standing right at the threshold of the new year, where everyone wants to understand what will truly happen during these festive days, what they may face, and how to determine their level of participation. She stressed the importance of thinking it all through, not just going through the motions without understanding the underlying factors. As I recall more of the interview, Nadezhda mentioned that she had been planning to produce similar material on her own before this topic came to my attention. She observed that in places like Europe, people begin their holiday preparations earlier, sometimes celebrating not only on December 31st. She noted how many individuals are already getting ready for the holiday season while others have started to awaken to what is really going on, which can lead to confusion, uncertainty, and not knowing what actions to take or avoid. She acknowledged that such feelings are understandable and explained that clarifying these matters well in advance allows people to think carefully, consider the information she offered, and ultimately make informed decisions about how they wish to engage with the New Year celebrations. As I recall, the interview addressed the New Year holiday and how it relates to energy informational fields and what are known as egregors. The explanation was that the New Year period is not just a simple calendar event, it is tied to certain energetic structures. People celebrate it in various countries and at slightly different times, often mixing cultural and religious traditions. What stands out is that the holiday is primarily linked to a particular egregor, which is a kind of collective energy structure. The general festive atmosphere people create, filled with emotions of joy, anticipation, and the warmth of family gatherings, forms an energy informational field. Within this field, everyone's excitement, the giving and receiving of gifts, decorating the home, preparing festive meals, and spending time with loved ones generates a powerful collective energy. At the same time, the underlying holiday itself is tethered to this egregor, especially a religious one, and certain complex mechanisms come into play. I remember the interview describing how, during this time, some intricate processes occur on the subtle energetic level. There are those who understand these hidden aspects and use them, performing certain rituals and magical actions that ordinary people are not aware of. The idea is that while people's joy and collective energy form a beautiful, rich, and vibrant field, within it slips a sort of hidden insertion. It was compared to enjoying a wonderfully decorated cake that everyone helps to create through their shared festive spirit. However, concealed inside the cake is a tiny poisonous element placed there by those who service the underlying egregore. This means that as people embrace the positive energy, an invisible thread of negative influence also tries to make its way into their experience. The suggestion was to learn to separate the positive collective energy from the harmful magical influence connected to the egregore. One can keep the uplifting atmosphere, the joy, the celebration, and the family warmth while refusing to feed into or accept the hidden destructive aspects. What I took from the explanation was that the New Year celebration is in essence, a collective energy exchange. Everyone contributes their happiness, excitement, and sense of unity to a common field. At the same time, there are those who know how to exploit this collective moment and introduce magical influences that serve darker agendas. The guidance was that one should consciously set boundaries. For example, it's possible to fully enjoy the holiday, appreciate the lovely emotions, and embrace the closeness of family and friends without connecting to the negative magical elements. If in my own mind I draw a clear line, consciously rejecting any harmful infiltration, I can still celebrate and feel the uplifting energy of the holiday. In this way, I can eat the metaphorical cake of positive feelings without swallowing the hidden poison. It was emphasized that everyone can do this by clearly expressing their will to refuse the negative aspects. The interview went on to explain that this harmful component is associated with a network of hidden operations carried out during such festive periods. On the subtle level, people who service these negative energies work like technicians opening and closing certain energetic channels at specific times, performing rituals aimed at extracting energy. Ordinary people unknowingly contribute their emotional energy because they are connected to the holiday and its traditional elements. Yet, there is no need to abandon the holiday altogether. Instead, one can enjoy the energy, informational field of people's collective positivity while keeping the door firmly closed to the manipulative parts. By mentally stating a refusal, by making it clear that one accepts only the natural joy and rejects any agitonal interference, it becomes possible to celebrate freely. Even those who have awakened to these underlying truths do not need to deny themselves the experience of a joyful new year. They can just be vigilant, aware, and assert their personal sovereignty over their own energy and that of their family. In remembering more of the conversation, it was mentioned that this scenario applies to everyone. People who consider themselves atheists or non-religious also celebrate the new year, often without realizing there is an energetic or ritualistic underside. Those who follow other religions or none at all commonly partake in the festivities, not knowing that they are connecting to something greater than just a countdown on December 31st. In many countries, ours and others, this event has become deeply embedded in the cultural psyche. The complicated part is that there are actual orchestrated ritual conducted by certain individuals who know exactly what they are doing. These rituals form a subtle framework designed to draw on the collective emotional output. It is as if there is an invisible factory at work, using the holiday as a conduit to extract energy. However, this does not mean that one must completely forsake the celebration. Instead, one should recognize that what makes the holiday vibrant and meaningful, the laughter, the family gatherings, the gifts, the childlike sense of wonder, comes from the people themselves. The people collectively create the holiday's beautiful energy. The negative elements are introduced from the outside. By understanding this, one can accept the good and exclude the bad, keeping that harmful influence away by consciously stating that one does not consent to it. I consider that this widespread holiday, as observed in many of our countries and throughout Europe, involves a complex interplay. The focus is on how to separate the positive energy people generate from the subtle magical manipulations connected to the underlying structures. It is important to recognize that certain parties use these special dates for their own energetic purposes. This does not mean that everyone celebrating is automatically trapped. Rather, it highlights the need for conscious intention. Even those who are not religious or who do not adhere to the faith traditionally linked to this celebration often celebrate it without any idea that something more might be going on behind the scenes. The key point remains that while the joyful atmosphere created by people is real and nourishing, there is also an artificially imposed mechanism that attempts to draw on this collective energy for less wholesome ends. By understanding this, I can choose to align only with the pure uplifting energy and reject any harmful influences. I remind myself that many mechanisms at play during these festivities resemble a hidden factory, those running it open and close certain channels at specific times, as if performing maintenance and managing the flow of human energy. This is done through rituals and certain magical operations that are not obvious to the general public. People's attention is usually on gathering with loved ones, exchanging gifts, and basking in the festive spirit. Yet in the background, others know exactly how to tap into this concentrated energy. The point is not to abandon celebrations entirely, but to become aware that the holiday, as commonly practiced, has layers. On one level, there is the bright and joyful energy that people create together. On another, there is a structured system feeding off that energy. With awareness, I can celebrate and enjoy the event fully, taste the sweetness of togetherness and the warmth of tradition, while not allowing the unseen mechanisms to draw from my energy. It is a matter of conscious choice. I accept the positive aspects and reject the negative inputs. I recognize that there is no need to become overly fearful or paranoid. Instead, it is about clear understanding and energetic hygiene. The suggestion is to set personal and family boundaries. If I choose to gather with my family, exchange gifts, decorate my home, and create a heartfelt atmosphere, then I also choose to refuse any external source that tries to insert itself into this energy exchange. I can visualize a boundary or state firmly in my mind that I allow only pure, uplifting energies into my space. This way, the holiday remains a time of joy, renewal, and family closeness. By drawing this line, I ensure that what I celebrate stays within my own terms. I do not have to partake in the hidden game. I can simply enjoy the holiday as a chance to strengthen family bonds and share positive emotions. As I think this through, I understand that people who are awakening to these realities might feel uncertain about how to proceed. After all, the holiday is deeply entrenched, and traditions such as decorating a tree or giving gifts are cherished by many. The idea is not to discard everything, but to reinterpret it with awareness and a clear intention. The tree can represent growth, life, and a connection to nature rather than any dark symbolic meaning. Gifts can be genuine tokens of love from one family member to another, rather than an exchange tied to external entities. The entire celebration can be approached as a chance to generate positive energy, celebrate beauty, and show appreciation for loved ones. By redefining the meaning, I can transform the situation. It is about choosing what resonates with the true spirit of renewal and leaving behind what does not serve the family or the greater good. I recall that one of the central points was the distinction between the energy informational field created by the people and the egregor connected to it. The collective joy forms the bright and nourishing part like a delicious, wholesome cake. The negative element is like a tiny but potent substance injected into the mix. If I decide not to consume that harmful particle, I can still enjoy the cake. This means consciously rejecting the manipulative magic. By stating internally that I do not accept any negative influence, I effectively filter it out. The result is a celebration that uplifts my energy, unites my family, and resonates with genuine warmth. This approach lets me preserve the positive aspects of tradition while remaining free from hidden strings or external control. As I continue to reflect, I understand that this is not merely about one holiday or one tradition. It exemplifies a broader situation. Many communal events can contain hidden layers of manipulation. Learning to discern and separate wholesome collective energies from exploitative elements can serve as a valuable skill. By choosing to remain aware, I maintain my sovereignty, ensuring that my energy and that of my loved ones stay aligned with what we sincerely value. This holiday, then, can become a training ground for asserting my energetic independence, nurturing positive connections without becoming entangled in what I do not want to support. Taking it step by step, I consider that this particular holiday, often seen as a joyous and family-oriented event, comes with certain traps. The attempt to sow discord within families, even if subtle and fleeting, is one such aspect. Sometimes, people find themselves inexplicably quarreling in the days leading up to the festivities, as though minor irritations flare up without reason. It was noted that this happens frequently, though not to everyone. Still, the pattern suggests that something encourages these negative sparks to fly, feeding off the resulting tension. Knowing this, I can be more mindful and refuse to let small annoyances escalate. If I understand that something might be nudging people towards friction to harvest that discordant energy, then I can respond by choosing calm, empathy, and understanding. By doing so, I deny the hidden mechanism its fuel and maintain a harmonious family atmosphere. So the idea is that while the holiday positions itself as a family event, there is a contradictory, underlying push to undermine family unity. Recognizing this, I can remain vigilant. I can decide that my family will become stronger during the holiday, not weaker. I can affirm the love, respect, and support we share. Every time a minor conflict threatens to arise out of nowhere, I can remember that it might not be organic. Instead of reacting negatively, I handle it calmly. In this way, I preserve my energy and that of my family, and I reinforce the positive bonds between us. My celebration thus becomes a conscious act of strengthening family ties, rather than allowing external influences to fragment them. Now I see that this kind of subtle energy harvesting happens across all major festivities. There is a reason such dates have been institutionalized and popularized. They become focal points of collective energy, and when people's guard is down, energy extraction is easier. Yet this knowledge does not have to make me bitter or fearful. Instead, it empowers me. By knowing that certain individuals exploit these gatherings, I gain the ability to thwart their aims simply by not playing along. I continue my traditions of warmth and kindness, but I do it with full awareness, thereby cutting off the supply line that would otherwise be accessed. It's a form of quiet liberation, a subtle act of reclaiming personal and familial energy. To make it clearer, I imagine the holiday preparations, the decorations, the meals, the rituals of gift giving and staying up until midnight. All of these elements can still be delightful and meaningful if I engage with them consciously. I can savor the good emotions, the sense of renewal that comes as the year turns, and the heartfelt wishes we exchange with friends and relatives. At the same time, I maintain an inner stance of sovereignty. I do not allow any invisible manipulator to siphon my energy. I do not let hidden negativity into my home. When I do this, the holiday becomes what it should be, an uplifting, invigorating event that helps everyone move into the new cycle with a positive mindset. I realize that one major symbol of the holiday is the tree, often a fir or pine placed in the home. Traditionally, many people have used real, living trees cut down specifically for this purpose, which can be seen as a form of sacrifice. The awareness here is that bringing a dying tree into one's home might carry a heavy, symbolic charge. Instead of blindly following that tradition, I can reflect on what I want to represent. Perhaps I choose an artificial tree, or I decide to decorate a living tree outside in the yard. Perhaps I use evergreen branches collected without harm, or even find a creative alternative that aligns with my values. The point is to avoid becoming complicit in damaging nature for a brief display. By redefining the tree as a symbol of life, continuity, and renewal, rather than a symbol of death and sacrifice, I transform the energy I contribute to the holiday atmosphere. I understand that some people love the scent of a real evergreen indoors. There are ways to recreate that scent without harm, such as essential oils. By doing this, I maintain respect for nature and still enjoy the sensory comfort of the season. Any symbol can be reinterpreted. If I know that originally certain customs were introduced to facilitate energy extraction or environmental harm, I can reclaim them. I declare that I use the symbol of the tree to represent the thriving forest, the promise of ongoing growth, and the flourishing of life. In doing so, I give back to nature with my intentions, sending gratitude and healing energy to the forest. I lift the tradition out of any grim undertones and make it a shining emblem of harmony between humanity and the natural world. Another aspect to consider is the presence of a certain mythical figure often associated with the holiday. The idea here is that inviting a strange character into one's home, telling children that this being brings them gifts, can be a way of allowing an unknown entity to feed on the child's energy. Instead of bestowing credit for the gifts on an external figure, I can take responsibility as a parent or guardian. I can give presents openly, saying they come from me, from the family, from those who genuinely love the child. This way, there is no third party receiving emotional devotion. By making it clear that the family itself offers these tokens of affection, I strengthen the bond between parent and child, and I do not surrender the child's innocent trust and excitement to something unseen or questionable. The holiday remains magical, but it is now anchored in real love, not a fabricated story that draws energy away. If I used to bring figurines or images of that mythical being into the home, I can simply stop. I can choose not to decorate with symbols that represent external entities that do not have my family's best interests at heart. Instead, I surround my home with symbols of joy, life, gratitude, and warmth, images or objects that genuinely resonate with what I believe in. This subtle shift changes the energetic dynamic. There is no longer an open invitation to something unknown. By exercising my free will in this manner, I maintain control over my household's emotional climate, ensuring that every element of the celebration uplifts us without hidden strings attached. As I consider the entire picture, I see that the holiday can be either a source of nourishment and togetherness or a moment of manipulation, depending on my level of awareness. With knowledge, I choose the former. I do not have to make grand statements or deny my loved ones their cherished traditions. I can simply approach everything with clear vision, selecting and focusing on the aspects that truly matter. Family closeness, mutual support, the hope for a brighter future. These are the core values I want to highlight. The more I emphasize these values, the less room there is for any negative influence. The magical moment of entering a new cycle can become a personal and collective affirmation of life and unity. Even if the larger world continues to follow old patterns, my personal approach to the holiday can serve as a beacon of a new paradigm. By refusing to feed the hidden mechanisms and choosing purity of intention, I shift the energy around me. In doing so, I contribute to the gradual dissolution of exploitative structures. Over time, as more people become aware and make similar choices, the holiday could regain its original, uplifting purpose as a genuine moment of renewal and communal joy, free from manipulative interference. This approach also sets an example for younger generations. Children grow up feeling the true essence of the celebrations as something rooted in genuine love and warmth. Instead of placing their trust in fictional characters who come and go without real connection, they learn that the joy and generosity come from those who actually care for them. In this way, they develop a stronger sense of family values and self-worth. They understand that their happiness is not dependent on appeasing an unseen force, but on nurturing honest relationships. By transforming the holiday in this manner, I ensure that each year, as the cycle turns, my family and I become more resilient, more united, and more conscious. The holiday ceases to be a point of subtle energy loss and instead becomes a milestone of growth. I see it as a stepping stone to a future in which traditions are upheld with integrity, where symbols are reclaimed for their true meaning, and where no hidden agendas can thrive unnoticed. The concept of gift giving is another area where I can apply this awareness. Gifts should be expressions of gratitude, love, and care, not bribes aimed at extracting emotional energy or perpetuating consumerist rituals that lack depth. By choosing meaningful, heartfelt presents, I ensure that the act of giving remains pure. My children learn that gifts are not conditional, not linked to behavior judged by an outside entity, but rather tokens of affection and recognition. This way, the giving and receiving of gifts become moments of true connection rather than transactions in a larger, unseen scheme. When it comes to decorations, music, and other festive elements, I can follow a similar principle. Instead of mindlessly following popular trends or including imagery that carries uncertain energetic baggage, I select decor that uplifts, inspires, and reflects genuine harmony. Bright colors, natural materials, and handmade ornaments can infuse the atmosphere with personal significance and creative energy. Each choice becomes part of a tapestry of authentic celebration. By approaching the holiday this way, I realize that even deeply ingrained traditions can be reshaped into something more aligned with my values. Nothing says I must follow the script laid out by others. If I feel uncomfortable with any aspect of the celebration, I can adapt or remove it. The point is to celebrate consciously, not out of habit or obligation. In doing so, I harness my own power to create a positive reality. Over time, the holiday becomes a reflection of what I truly cherish, and I contribute to a wave increased awareness. If I consider the broader context, I see that holidays serve as cultural focal points where energy concentrates. Those who understand energy dynamics see opportunities in these moments. The difference is that now I, too, understand. Armed with this knowledge, I am no longer a passive participant. I am an active creator of my experience. I shape the holiday to reinforce what is best in my life and my community. Thus, the holiday no longer feels imposed or manipulated. It becomes a genuine festival of renewal. I recognize that changing my perspective might feel challenging at first, especially if I have long held certain beliefs or followed certain traditions without questioning them. It might be difficult to explain these changes to others who expect things to remain as they have always been. However, by gently and calmly standing by my choices, I can inspire curiosity. Perhaps others will ask why I have decided to celebrate in a more mindful way. This opens the door to sharing insights and helping others see that they, too, can choose a path that resonates more authentically. In this spirit of gentle influence, I don't need to preach or condemn. I can lead by example. As I celebrate with sincerity and confidence, free from the hidden layers that once drained energy, my genuine joy becomes noticeable. People sense when someone is truly at peace and energized. Over time, they may feel inclined to explore these ideas, discovering that awareness brings clarity, sovereignty, and harmony into an event they may have previously taken for granted. In this way, what began as a personal decision to reject unwanted influences grows into a subtle collective shift. Family by family, community by community, more people learn that their traditions can be reclaimed and revitalized. The holiday can become a testament to the human capacity for conscious co-creation. Instead of fear or submission to unseen forces, it can embody resilience, creativity, and love. On a practical level, as I approach this holiday season, I might start by making small changes. Perhaps I choose my decorations more carefully, replacing certain symbols with others that resonate more positively. Maybe I speak openly with my loved ones about celebrating in a more heartfelt manner. I might explain that I prefer to honor nature by not bringing a cut tree indoors, or that I find more meaning in giving gifts that truly reflect my relationship with the recipient. Little by little, these alterations set a new tone. Over time, my actions accumulate to form a pattern. Instead of feeling trapped by tradition, I feel empowered by it, seeing it as a canvas on which I can paint new meanings. The holiday transforms into an occasion that genuinely revitalizes me. I look forward to it not only because of the familiar customs, but because I know these customs have been infused with authentic purpose. Now, the energy I invest is returned in the form of deeper connections, fond memories, and a sense of genuine progression into a new phase of life. If I continue on this path, each year becomes an opportunity to refine my understanding. With repetition, the conscious approach becomes second nature. My family may come to cherish these heartfelt traditions even more than before. Knowing that every element is chosen with intention and clarity, the old manipulations lose their power because they rely on ignorance or unawareness. Once the game is revealed, it can no longer be played in the same way. I have freed myself from it simply by acknowledging it and refusing to participate. As this consciousness spreads, the very nature of the holiday could evolve culturally. Instead of a mass event where hidden siphoning occurs, it might gradually become a time known for collective empowerment. People could discuss openly how best to celebrate in ways that honor life, nature, and true connection. Such conversations would mark a shift from passive acceptance to active, conscious engagement in the shaping of tradition. I imagine a future where these ideas become common knowledge. The choice to celebrate meaningfully might become as natural as breathing. Children would grow up seeing the holiday as a reflection of genuine care and love, not a performance staged to maintain a facade. The entire atmosphere could lighten, shedding old patterns of conflict or tension, embracing instead the essence of unity and generosity. Of course, these changes do not happen overnight. They begin with individuals who dare to question, to learn, and to act differently. With each decision to uphold sincere values overrode repetition, a subtle shift occurs. The holiday, once a stage for hidden operations, becomes a stage for authentic human creativity. I can take pride in participating in this transformation, knowing that my actions contribute to something broader than myself. In the meantime, I make the most of the upcoming celebration. I take stock of what truly matters to me, the people I love, and the values I hold dear. I prepare to welcome the new cycle with an open heart and a clear mind. Knowing what I know now, I feel more empowered, more secure, and more capable of ensuring that the holiday nurtures rather than drains my energy. As I finalize my preparations, I recognize that the key lies in intention. By setting a firm intention that I will embrace the uplifting aspects of the collective field and reject any hidden manipulations, I effectively tune my participation. I can still admire the lights, enjoy a festive meal, and share laughter with friends, all while guarding my energy and ensuring that my celebration remains wholesome. This sense of agency transforms the way I experience the holiday. Instead of feeling like a passive receiver of tradition, I become an active co-creator. I accept the good and discard the bad, and I do so confidently because I understand the underlying dynamics. It feels liberating. I notice that my mood improves, that minor irritations lose their edge, and that I can approach every interaction from a place of calm understanding. In this calm understanding, I find the true essence of what a holiday should be: a time of renewal, joy, and heartfelt connection. By consciously shaping my experience, I realign the holiday with these fundamental values. I restore its integrity and ensure that what I pass on to future generations is a tradition worth cherishing, one that stands on a foundation of respect, authenticity, and love, no matter what external influences may still operate in the wider world within my personal sphere. I hold the power. This realization gives me confidence that change is not only possible, but inevitable as more and more people awaken to their ability to choose. The holiday becomes a reminder that I am not helpless, that I can engage with cultural practices intelligently, keeping what serves and discarding what does not. Gradually, I may even find that the holiday brings unexpected gifts in the form of insights. Each year, as I refine my approach, I gain a deeper understanding of energy dynamics, symbolism, and the importance of conscious participation. I learn to appreciate tradition as a living entity, one that can be nurtured and guided in positive directions. In doing so, I move closer to a reality where communal events are sources of strength and inspiration rather than points of weakness and exploitation. As I continue along this path, the lines once drawn between old habits and new insights begin to blur. What was once unusual or challenging becomes natural. The idea that one must accept everything at face value fades, replaced by the confidence that I can co-create my experiences with awareness. This confidence radiates beyond the holiday itself and influences other areas of life, where I also learn to distinguish between genuine opportunities and hidden traps. In the end, the true meaning of the holiday emerges as something personal and dynamic. Instead of being defined by external stories or imposed customs, it becomes a reflection of my values and my family's collective spirit. The shift is subtle yet profound, enabling us to celebrate with sincerity and grace. Rather than feeling drained afterward, we feel replenished, having contributed something positive both to our own lives and to the energetic field around us. With this understanding, I approach the holiday with a steady heart. I take what resonates and leave what does not. I invite warmth, care, laughter, and love into my home and firmly close the door to any influence that runs counter to these qualities. As I do so, I sense a quiet victory. This is how traditions evolve, through conscious choice and heartfelt action. Reflecting on all of this, I see that the holiday can serve as a catalyst for growth. It challenges me to question old assumptions, to examine what I bring into my home and mind, and to reaffirm what I stand for. The process may not be entirely comfortable, but it leads to a stronger sense of alignment between my inner truth and the outer reality I help shape. This alignment brings calm and satisfaction. Over time, I learn to trust myself more. I know that when I set a clear intention, I can navigate cultural events with ease. I can maintain joy without losing integrity. In this way, the holiday teaches me the art of conscious participation, a skill that extends far beyond this particular event, influencing how I approach all collective gatherings and traditions. This perspective empowers me not just in a seasonal context, but as a general life principle. Whenever a group dynamic arises, whether it is a celebration or another form of communal activity, I can apply the same discernment. The more I practice, the better I become at identifying genuine positivity and filtering out harmful elements. With time, my life becomes more harmonious, and I contribute more authentically to the well-being of those around me. As this journey continues, I find that my attitude towards the holiday becomes lighter. I no longer feel burdened by hidden worries or doubts. Instead, I can immerse myself in preparation, decoration, and planning, knowing that I have reclaimed my power to choose. The holiday regains its sparkle not as an ad-V fantasy, but as a conscious, life-affirming celebration. Now, when I think about gathering with loved ones, I do so with a smile. I know that our shared meal, our laughter, and the thoughtful gifts we exchange are genuine and free of manipulation. This strengthens the emotional bonds between us. We emerge from the holiday feeling more connected, more supported, and more aligned, rather than feeling drained or unsettled. The old narrative that the holiday must follow a certain script no longer holds sway. I see that I can write my own script, one that celebrates the turning of the year as a fresh start and an opportunity for collective upliftment, whether it is through choosing the symbols I display, the stories I tell, or the values I emphasize. I shape the holiday into a meaningful experience that truly resonates with who I am and what I believe. In this sense, the holiday transforms into something organic and adaptive, changing as I grow in understanding. Each year's insights build upon the last, layering my celebration with increasing depth and authenticity. It becomes a living tradition, not a stagnant one. As I refine the event, I find that it also refines me, encouraging continued self-awareness and conscious engagement with life's rhythms. Such an approach ultimately brings harmony. Harmony between my inner intentions and the outer expressions, harmony within my family, and harmony in the collective energy field that I help shape. Instead of passively adhering to norms, I participate actively, leaving a positive imprint on the communal experience of the holiday. In doing so, I claim my rightful place as a co-creator of meaning and tradition. As the time of celebration approaches, I feel prepared and centered. I understand what lies beneath the surface, and I know how to steer the energy in a constructive direction. I welcome the festive ambience, but I welcome it on my own terms, guided by my intuition and principles. This quiet confidence brings a sense of peace, making the holiday season all the more enjoyable. Looking back, what began as a question, whether to celebrate at all, has transformed into a resolution to celebrate more meaningfully. I have learned that I do not need to abandon joy, laughter, and warmth just because there may be hidden elements at play. I can simply navigate around them, disempowering them by withholding my participation. In this way, I preserve and enhance the holiday's true value. Now, as I finalize all preparations from the decorations to the meal plans, I keep these insights at the forefront of my mind. They guide my choices, ensuring that every candle I light, every toast I raise, and every gift I give contributes to an atmosphere of genuine upliftment. No unwanted influences find their way into my celebration, because I have chosen not to invite them. In this manner, I have turned the holiday into a personal rite of clarity and empowerment. It stands as a reminder that I can consciously shape my experiences, that I can embrace tradition while refining it to reflect my deepest values. This knowledge frees me from the fear that I must conform blindly. I see that tradition itself can evolve, and I can be part of that evolution. As time moves forward, I hold on to these principles. I may share them quietly with others who are curious or who sense that something was amiss in the way we used to celebrate. By gently planting these seeds of awareness, I help cultivate a garden of more authentic celebrations where each family and community can grow their own beautiful expression of the holiday, free from hidden manipulations. With each passing cycle, the holiday may gradually return to its core purposes, the renewal of hope, gratitude, and communal harmony. Freed from exploitative agendas, it becomes a radiant point in the calendar, a moment when people truly come together to celebrate life and support one another. In this vision, everyone emerges enriched, nourished, and inspired. Until that larger shift occurs, I focus on my own sphere. I ensure that within my home and among my loved ones, the holiday is pure and meaningful. Over the years, I trust that the ripple effect of such individual choices will contribute to a wider transformation, like drops of water joining to form a stream. Each mindful participant helps carry the tradition toward greater integrity. For now, I am satisfied that I have made my personal stance clear. I have learned the lessons, adapted my approach, and look forward to celebrating without reservations. The holiday, once viewed with some suspicion, now feels like an opportunity to create something truly lovely, heartfelt, and uplifting, anchored in conscious awareness, is a 4788. In conclusion, having explored the deeper aspects behind the holiday's festivities, I realize that knowledge is liberating. Armed with understanding, I am free to embrace the holiday with open eyes and an open enjoying its beauty, savoring its warmth, and guarding my family's well-being. This balance, awareness without paranoia, celebration without exploitation, marks a step forward in my personal evolution. That's all for today. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share my channel. Become a member of my Telegram channel and discuss with like-minded people as a supporting club member.